Experienced anglers often use a bait caster with a clicker. That's the setting so you know when you're getting a bite. You can leave it free spool, engage the clicker. You don't have to worry about your pole getting drug in the water. Bait casters can be expensive and they're difficult to cast. If you want a good deal on a bait caster, check a pawn shop. I've bought a bunch of high-end reels at pawn shops for $20 or $30. Just starting out, never been fishing before, I recommend like a Zebco 33 on an ugly stick rod. This is a Zebco 33 and a Zebco 808. Neither are expensive or particularly high quality, but they've caught 1 million of fish since they were introduced how many decades ago. If you decide to get a Zebco 33, buy the Platinum model if you can find it. It has a much better construction. A spinning rod combo is also a good option. They're a little harder to cast than a spin cast rod, but much easier than a bait caster. Don't buy a giant rod and reel combo unless you're certain catfish is the only species you're going after. A medium-sized combo is more versatile. You can use it for bass or bluegill. It's possible to land a catfish on the ultralight spinning combo, but you're going to have a fight on your hands. The spin cast reel, like the Zebco 33 or 808, is the easiest one to cast. Push and hold the button. Let go of the button when you want the line to release. And then you engage the reel and take up the slack so your line is tight against your sinker. The casting stroke doesn't really matter with a spin cast reel, but you want to use a smooth application of power. Don't get in the habit of cracking it like a whip, because that'll cause you problems if you move up to a spinning reel combination or a bait caster. Fishing line is rated by breaking strength. 6-pound test will break when more than 6 pounds of force is applied to it. And this is 12-pound test, and it'll break when more than 12 pounds are applied to it. If you buy a rod and reel combination, it will come with the appropriate size line. Your fishing reel will have an adjustment called the drag. It works like a clutch, and it allows a big fish to pull line from your reel without breaking the line, so you can continue to fight it and wait for it to tire. On a Zebco 33, it's a thumb wheel right here where you can loosen and tighten the drag. If it's too light, the big fish will just pull all the line off. If it's too tight, the big fish will break your line. So that's a pretty important adjustment. Rule number 1, don't leave your rod unattended unless it's secured. A catfish is powerful and they will pull your rod into the water. I recommend some type of rod holder. It can be as simple as a forked stick just stuck in the ground. It can be like this one where you stick it in the ground and then the rod lays in it like that. The handle goes here, the reel hangs under here, and the rest of the rod rests there. My favorite is 2 pieces of PVC that I have attached to my fishing chair, and I have a video showing how I made those. The other thing you need are sinkers, hooks, bait, a pair of clippers for cutting the line and trimming the tag ends off your knots. You need needle nose pliers or forceps for hook removal and for pinching the split shot sinkers on your line. I like to keep my forceps on a retractable keychain hooked to my belt, and they're always right there when I need them. I also bring along a pack of the cheap glow stick bracelets from Walmart, some cellophane tape, and I use a headlamp instead of a lantern. I have a video about how to make catfishing more comfortable that I will link in the description, and it tells about the glow sticks and the headlamp. My favorite catfish bait is chicken livers, but they can be really hard to keep on the hook. I have a video that I'll put in the description about how to keep them on the hook. But as a beginner, I recommend you use Nightcrawlers. They're highly effective and easy to obtain. You can buy them almost anywhere. You can also catch Nightcrawlers on summer nights after a rain with a flashlight. They come up to the surface to breed, and a lot of times you can catch them two at a time. If you visit the fishing department of any major retailer, you're going to find a million different prepared catfish baits. Some are in tubs, some are in tubes, some are actual fish that's been preserved. A lot of them are in bags and look like nuggets. I avoid all of these baits because I've never caught a fish using a prepared bait. If you know of a prepared catfish bait that actually works, please leave a comment, because the whole point of this video is to promote the sport and help other people get started catching fish. The best hooks to use for Nightcrawlers are bait holder hooks. They have barbs on the back of the shank to help hold the Nightcrawler in place. The simplest and cheapest sinkers are called split shot sinkers. They are usually round balls made of lead, where lead is legal to use, and as the name implies, they're split down the middle, and you simply place them on the line and pinch them down on the line with forceps or needle nose pliers. Hook sizes can be very confusing. When you were in elementary school, did you ever have a number line taped to the wall of the classroom where 0 was in the middle? And the negative numbers smaller than 0 were to the left, and the positive numbers, the numbers larger than 0, were to the right? This is a 4/0 hook. This is a size 4 hook, and this is a size 8 hook. Well, hook sizes work the same way. This is a 2/0 bait holder hook, and if you notice, it has barbs on the shank to help hold the Nightcrawler in place. A 2/0 is the biggest hook I would recommend with Nightcrawlers. The strongest and easiest to tie knot for a beginner is a Palomar knot.
This is how to tie the simplest knot in fishing. Thread the hook, take the tag end of the line and pass it through the eye of the hook or lure. Make a loop. Take the tag end of the line and pass it back through the eye of the hook or lure to form a loop. Keep the tag end parallel to the main line with plenty of slack. Tie an overhand knot. Take the loop you just created and tie an overhand knot around the tag and main line. Leave enough of the loop to pass the lure or knot through. Pass hook through the loop. Take your lure or hook and pass it through the end of the loop. Make sure that the loop comes all the way past the eye of the hook. Cinch the line. Wet the line and pull the tag end and main line to cinch the knot against the hook or lure. Trim the tag end of the line, and there you have the Palomar knot.
Don't forget to buy a fishing license. Now that you are ready to go catfishing, you need to decide where to go. It is almost certain that your state's Fish and Game Department has a website or a fishing guide that lists public fishing access points. Kentucky has a fish stocking program called FINS, which stands for Fishing in Neighborhoods, and it has an interactive map showing you the locations all over the state where fish are stocked, with the express purpose of making it easy and convenient to catch fish. Your state probably has a similar program. I have a recent video about Kentucky's trout stocking. Many state and city parks allow fishing. Check the rules before you go. Local governments will have different rules, and some bodies of water have special restrictions. Public boat ramps often allow access to bank fishing, but don't block the ramp. That's bad manners. The ideal location is out of the way or has restricted access, like a private pond that belongs to someone you know, or a lake that requires a long walk to access a fishing spot. If you choose a spot that is convenient, a lot more people will go there to fish, so there are fewer fish, and the fish that have survived are pretty smart and much more difficult to catch. These popular spots are referred to as having high fishing pressure and are the spots you want to avoid. The exception to this rule is when a lake or a stream is stocked on a regular basis. The fish are there, and they haven't been there long enough to learn about fishing hooks or lures. Pay lakes, privately owned lakes that charge admission, are a good example of lakes that are stocked on a regular basis. If someone is kind enough to share a good fishing spot, keep their secret. It is really bad manners to give out somebody else's honey hole. If you have any questions or thoughts of any kind on this video, leave them in the comments. YouTube thinks you'll like this video. Let me know in the comments if they got it right.